Welcome to Citizens of the World. We are your hosts, Suganthan and Pavin.
Ever wondered why you live where you live?
I don't really know.
Many factors impact where you live, like rivers, lakes, oceans, railways, roads, ports, natural resources, opportunities, religious reasons, safety, and more. People want to get the most food, trade routes, safety, and opportunities they can. So naturally, they move to places where they can get these things.
Like how I moved from Toronto to Calgary since the tech job I needed had infrastructure only in Toronto.
Exactly, but for ancient people who actually founded the modern day cities, they needed food, trade, safety, and religion more than opportunities and education, as back then many settlements couldn't even fulfill their basic needs regularly. Speaking of where people live, how do we describe the patterns of the area where people live?
Aha, I can answer this question. Geographers, demographers, and city planners use this term population distribution. It's used to show how people are spread across in areas. Here's a list of the population distribution patterns. The peripheral is living in major cities, mainly along the coast. Linear is multiple settlements, cities arranged in a line, often alongside a natural or human built feature. Scattered is living in settlements that are widely separated from each other, as in Siberia, Russia, where the population is widely distributed. Clusters live in close knit groups, and most people on Earth do too. Wait a minute. What causes them to abandon their settlement?
This question is very interesting, and I do have the answer to it. It explores geography, resources, and humans. People often settle near water, transportation routes, and natural resources, and the resources run out. Infrastructure falls due to fires, tornadoes, floods, etc. Opportunities are limited. Safety decreases when the climate changes or instructions from their religion/government tell them to move. They abandon their settlements and go live elsewhere.
So wait, what you're saying is that when these conditions are met, for example, when resources run out or people's safety is threatened, cities and settlements will be abandoned? Speaking of reasons, people live in certain places. Do people live in places that they prefer, like fresh mountain air, nice views, jungles with nice weather?
Although preference does have an impact, people value the reasons listed above more than preference, as back then people had hard, short lives. Nowadays, people have more money and less worry about basic requirements, resources, safety, and more, as most of the cities, villages, and towns nowadays fulfill them. So preference actually takes a greater role in the modern day. This leads to settlements with scenic view, nice air, and more to actually generate more money and house more people. By the way, do you know how some regions are richer than others with people, money, and resources?
Some regions are richer than others, as they have more colonization, better forms of government, less corruption, more land, water, resources, heavy investment in schools, technology, and education, better army, access to the market, and a lot more technology. Their culture/norms might allow them to improve, make more money, and receive more education. Example, similar to how Germany was farther ahead than the stardom of Russia, since Germany focused more on education and rights and the development of technology. Well, asking you now, how do historical wars, laws, treaties, genocide, and more impact where people live?
These events lead to cities being less populated, more controlled by the winning faction, or being filled with the winning faction's people. Also, they start mass migrations of people of refugees leaving for safer areas. The city exploiting the people loses a chunk of their economy but can recover with some actions. This in turn attracts more of the winning faction and other people wanting to move. The refugees are unhelpful at first and put a strain on the city's resources and infrastructure for the city receiving the unexpected refugees in high amounts. But after a few years, the refugees will get jobs and generate income, thus boosting the economy. Given that the government can build more jobs, homes, and infrastructures to keep up, this also makes more people want to live there. Also, I learned how people still live in places with natural disasters and how it affects them.
Wait, how?
People often avoid places that commonly experience natural disasters, and people who do live there get prepared for the events and build structures that can withstand it. This is why people still live in Florida, Indonesia, and places that are prone to disasters. To add on, their population is actually growing. even though 560 billion 252 million Canadian dollars worth of worldwide assets were lost as recently as 2024.
From scattered villages to massive megacities, population patterns show how people move, settle, and grow. It's all connected, and right now, so are we. Some major sources we used for our podcast were National Geography, Botanica, and History Channel.